Hey everyone, it's Anne Manera, and we're coloring it along today again with Color Along Variety Coloring Book Volume 19. We are working on the Speckled technique today, and today I'm going to be using Black Widow Dragon pencils, dragon colored pencils. I really like this set. It's a 36 set of colored pencils, some really fun, bright colors. Today's page that we're working on is more of a pattern style page, and we're going to color each area. And then we're going to speckle it by using a little bit, we'll add some dots to it that are going to be add kind of a decorative speckle type look. And I'm going to be using this Unipen Fine Line Water and Fade Proof Pigment Ink pen, which is actually the pen I use to draw coloring books with. But that's the pen I'm going to be using. So today's page cannot be found in any of my other coloring books, which usually that is the case, but instead you can find similar pages like this page in my pocket-sized coloring book called Patterns. And I'll leave a link to this book in the description of this video, and you can take a look. But here is just a kind of a quick little flip through. This is a fun little book. I have several of these pocket-sized 5.5 inch by 8.5 inch little coloring books. And I'll actually be creating more of these of this size. So let me know if that's a size coloring book that you enjoy. So I do have a piece of paper behind my page because that's important for everybody, right? And I'm just going to get started with coloring these flowers. So the first thing I'm going to do is color this area here, these petals of this flower. Now, what's fun about this speckle technique is that you can just use kind of a same pressure. Well, let me show you. There's nothing better than just kind of showing you what's happening. I've got my Scotland and Paisley, of course, here with me, thinking that it's like a happening time every time I hit the record button. I don't know what they think happens, but I don't know. They think it's all just a happening time for them. So these pencils actually have kind of a softer lead than most Black Widows, if you're familiar with a Black Widow pencil. Usually the lead is not quite as soft. I had to help Scarlett with something. Excuse me. So I don't know why it's really soft, but it is very, very soft. So I'm just doing this kind of like, you know, same pressure on the whole petal. Now you can certainly use any medium for this in addition to the black pen, and you can also use any color you would like if you wanted to use a different color, if you wanted to use a different color pen. It usually works better with a pen with this when you're speckling. So I'm going to color this flower here, and then I'm going to add the speckles. Now, the difference between speckling and pointillism, you may be wondering, what the heck is the difference? We did pointillism for our first color along of this book several weeks ago, or a few weeks ago, the beginning of August. And time is flying here, already August 22nd, can't even believe it. So we used pointillism. Now pointillism is all about adding dots to create different colors or shades or values or hues. But when you get involved with speckling, let me show you what's going to happen. We're going to hold the pen perpendicular, and we're just going to add some specks. Now, one of the things that I kind of think of is maybe like a robin's egg, or like a bird egg from a nest, blue speckled, has little specks all over it. And I think there's a Cadbury egg like this. I'm in a candy mood today, apparently. I don't know what happened to me. And we're just going to add all of these little dots in no particular pattern. I'm not counting them. This is much more decorative. This is kind of like stippling. It's kind of like just adding the dots to wherever you would like them to be. Random. Very meditative process, I think. Let me know in the comments if you've ever colored a coloring page using this technique, or if this is like, whoa, this is new to me type thing. So let me know in the comments what you think about this. We're going to go on to so I'm just going to keep coloring in this process here. I'm going to, in this order, I'm going to add the pages, add the colors to the areas, and then I'm going to go back into each one and speckle. Now, I definitely do want to just kind of keep the same pressure. That's going to be my my technique today. You can certainly shade, you can certainly blend, but I'm just gonna go with my, you know, solid color, one color for every area. Same pressure area. And then we'll add the speckles. So for this one here, for the leaves, I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna go close, 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 close with my little specks, my little black specks in this little cluster of an area. And then as I get out towards the middle of the, or the end of the leaf, then I'm going to go further apart with my specks. So just to kind of vary it. The other thing is that you do not need to add speckles to every area of your coloring page. You might want to just, you know, less is more. You might want to add them only to certain areas and then leave some areas unspeckled, because you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to wear all the jewelry in the jewelry box, right? You don't want to wear every bracelet you own at the same time. So, I mean, and if that's what makes you happy, then go for it, of course, but you don't have to do it that way. This is a good color. This is called Gold Dust, and I'm going to go a little bit heavier of a pressure here because I really want the center of this to stand out, and I don't really think I'm going to speckle this gold area. I think I'm going to not speckle the gold area, actually. All right, so now let's move on to this side. I'm going to not speckle these either. Here's another round area here. And then let's see what else is in this box. This is a nice, good variety of colors. Great for flowers, great for nature. This one's Crimson Stone. I really, really, really like this one. I'm going to color the inside of this flower with this Crimson Stone color. Just going to give this a quick sharpen in a second. Hang on a second. Let me just give that a quick sharpen. Grab my pencil sharpener. So this Crimson Stone color kind of complements what's over there. Don't you think? Kind of complements it a little bit. Can't find my pencil sharpener that I wanted to use on this, by the way. So I'm just going to use it just like it is. Now, when you think about some of the areas that are closer together, that's a good place to add the black specks or the speckling. So for instance, around this area here, this like tight little area here, this area that I'm coloring right now is probably an area that you might want to speckle, similar to how I did these lavender color petals. Having some trouble with my chair, if you hear all the squeaking. I don't know what is happening. I had a chair break last week. You ever have a chair break underneath you? It's not fun, let me tell you. This is Mellow Yellow. I can never find a good chair. If anyone has any recommendations for a good chair, let me know. And I like this yellow because it's nice and bright for this particular flower. Now, this is another area where you could speckle close to maybe the closer areas, like maybe in between here would have a lot of close speckles, close black specks. And then as you went further out to a bigger area, for instance, right here, maybe you would make them further apart, similar to what I did on those leaves. And I'm not really worried about full, complete coverage. I don't mind if there's some white showing through on this area, on this particular section. My friend Paisley. I don't know what she needs. She just went out. All right, now let's see what else we can add to this outer portion here. We're going to add some, actually, let's use a little bit of this orange color for this part right here. This one is called Dragon's Breath, which I guess is appropriately named for this particular coloring. So this is like an orangey color. I don't know if I've ever really imagined in my head what Dragon's Breath color, what the color of Dragon's Breath would be. But again, this area in particular, where this close section is, I could actually put the specks closer together in this area and then kind of merge them out and make them sparser, or make them further apart. So speckling becomes more of a decorative type of technique. You want to enhance your page, decorate your page. Now, if I was using markers on this page, then I would probably wait for the markers to dry a little bit before I added the black, before I went in and added the speckles. So let's get that pen again. And for this area here, I'm going to speckle all around, just kind of the whole area. For this one here, I'm going to go close, 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 close in this tighter area, but then I'm going to come out further apart. So it's similar to when you're shading with the heavy pressure. Say you're coloring with colored pencils and you're using a much heavier pressure in like one area, and then you kind of like shade out and make it light. So you go from light to dark or dark to light. I hope this makes sense. Let me know in the comments if you've ever used this coloring technique. And if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, it would be awesome. I would really appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up button and like this video. And if you could hit the bell, then you'll always be notified when I post a new video. So new color alongs from this book, Color Along Variety Coloring Book Volume 19, post every Monday and Thursday at 10 a.m. here on my YouTube channel. And we're coloring from this book all the way until October 13th. So lots of coloring tutorials for this book. So far we have done Pointillism, we've done, let me get my little notepad here, my piece of paper. Pointillism, we did burnishing, we did coloring with coffee and tea. Let me know what you think about that one. That was a lot of fun to do, kind of a different one. Just a Blue Pen, we've colored with chalk pastels, and now here we are with Speckled. And then some of the color alongs that are coming up are textures with pennies. Shading with colored pencils, we've got just 4 colors. Grayscale with colored pencils, watercolor pencils, stained glass. Now, if you have this book and you don't have this scheduled, then please send me a message or send me an email that's in the back of the book. All my contact information is in the back of that coloring book, and I will get you the schedule so you make sure you can have it. It's also found on my coloring group, Just Color, on over on Facebook. But that's all I have to say about that, right? So hopefully you're learning something new from these color alongs. All right, so this one is called Lady Jane. It's a pink color. It's a very light pink color, and I'm taking advantage of how light it really is because I just kind of want it to be a smooth, light color. Now, if you want, the other thing you might notice in this particular page is that, if you've got this book anyway, the line is not completely black, black, black. It's not totally black. It's kind of a charcoal color for the lines on this coloring page. And I thought that would be kind of a fun thing to do with this. The other thing is that it's got a very thick line, which I kind of like. What do you think about that thick line? All right, let's add a purple color in here for these kind of like pieces that stick out. Can I get this Do you ever have a feel like, okay, here it is. This one is Blue Tongue. What an odd name for a colored pencil, isn't it? It's more of a lavender color. But this is a very smooth color. And again, I'm using light pressure just to color in that whole entire area. And what's good, I think what I like about these lines on this page is that it's easy to stay in the lines rather than worry, because it's thicker, right? So nobody knows. I can go outside that line and it's not that big of a deal. So here's another one right here. Now for this one, what do you think? I think I'm going to speckle it like close on these sides and then go further out like I did on the leaves. So let's give it a little speckle here. So I'm going to go close in here. And then I'm going to go further out. Close. And then over here, close. And then further out. So close over here. And then definitely further out over here. So we'll just continue with. And then just further out on this section here. Close. Kind of meditative. Seems like, I don't know, could have like music playing in the background. Could be like, you know, speckling to the beat type thing. I can't play music on my YouTube channel, so. But if I could play music right now while I was doing this, I think I would be playing something kind of fast. You know, just to kind of give it a little bit of a tap. I mean, we could call this tap technique too. And then I'm going to leave my pink area unspeckled because I like to have some speckled, some not speckled. And now I'm going to work on this part here that's coming out. And I'd like to be able to pull in another color that has been already used. So I'm going to use this color here for this section, this Dragon's Breath color. Because I kind of want my eye to go from, you know, you want your eye to kind of float across the page. But I am making it a little bit lighter than I did for that middle section, for this area here. And then what else do we have? We have this one right here. And then we have this one here because it's kind of like above the pink, right? So we're following the ones that are above the pink. Oh, above the pink and the purple, right? So this one too. And this one. Here, and then we've got this one above the pink little corner there. Here we have another one. And again here. Now, I think maybe I'm going to vary my shade of green that I used for the leaves. Kind of shake things up a little bit. Sometimes it's fun to have some various greens. So there's that section there. Now for here, let's use this lavender color on the outer portion. See how we've got this, this, this. So now let's do this color here. Because I think that would look really nice next to the green. Look, I feel like I have to go with my pencil, you know. Follow the yellow brick road here, right? Just kind of stay within what we have. Looks good against that orangey dragon breath color. Now we are going to move on to the greens. Now for this one right here, I used Green Glow, but for this next one here, I'm going to use Grass Bleed. Here's a leaf right here. And look how much brighter it is. I think I like this green better. What do you think? This set of pencils actually has a nice variety of colors. I really, really like all Black Widow pencils. And actually, if you're signed up for my coloring camp, or if you're not signed up for coloring camp, there is still time. I'll leave a link in the description of this video so that you can sign up for coloring camp, which begins in less than 10 days. Coloring camp begins on August 31st. We color from August 31st, which is a Wednesday. Every day we meet at 10 a.m. Eastern Time for a live color-along coloring tutorial, activity page, giveaways, chat, laughter, just all pure coloring fun. And we meet in a private Facebook group for 5 days from Wednesday to Sunday. So August 31st, September 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And it's $24.99 to get into the group, into the camp, by purchasing the camp book. And I'll leave a description or a link. I'll leave a link to coloring camp. You just have to purchase the book and let you into camp. Camp is going to be fun. And one of the coolest parts about camp is, or I think it is anyway, is that this one is called Calm Lime. I'm going to color this section here. Black Widow Colored Pencils is actually giving away 4 sets of Cobra colored pencils during coloring camp to four different people. At coloring camp will have a chance to win that. Plus, every day at coloring camp, a new coloring book, a PDF coloring book, will be given away to a random person. We'll pick a random winner. A winner will pick random. A winner will be picked randomly, and you'll have a chance to win a PDF coloring book from one of my coloring book artist friends. Essentially, I've known them since I started coloring books 7 years ago, and Kimberly Garvey, Laura Medeiros, Nola Hensel, and Deborah Muller are all going to be giving away a PDF copy of one of their coloring books. And I'm super excited about it. So if you are not part of coloring camp and you would like to know more, just click on the link below to get the book on Amazon worldwide, and then you can be part of coloring camp. It's going to be a lot of fun. This, I think, is my 14th camp. I think I've lost count. I don't know. If you've camped with me before, you would know more than me. You would know more than I, right? Okay, let's get some speckling in here because we've kind of like, you know, slacked off on our speckles. All right, I'm going to speckle these dragon breath areas with just kind of a random, you know, all over the place type thing. And then I've got this other color in my hand that I kind of grabbed. Nail polish is the name. I don't know which area. Oh, this area here. What an interesting colors. An interesting name for a color. All right, so we've got this whole section here. So there we go. I want to make sure I put a cover on this as soon as I can find it. There we go. And now I'm going to move on to this area here, and I'm going to color all of these the same color, all of this section, because this is another flower that's kind of peeking its way down through, you know. And then I'm going to color, well, this is actually another leaf before I forget it. Hold on a second. I don't want to forget this leaf. Do you ever feel like you color sections of your coloring page maybe before you think you were going to, because you kind of like, it's kind of screaming at you and saying, color me, that type of thing? All right, so there's that whole area. Now, this is a really fun section to speckle because I feel like I could go through these areas here that are nice and tight, and then kind of go out. Close areas, kind of the corners, and then as I get further out, like that. And as we go along like that. So kind of therapeutic. What do you think? What do you think about this technique? Are you feeling like when you go bowling and you're like, you know, aiming the ball at the pins that you're picturing to be something that you're mad about? You know? Does anybody else do that? It's kind of like that. All right, so we've got this whole area here. Okay, that part is finished. Now I want to see about this leaf here, because I'm going to do the opposite section, the opposite technique as I did on those leaves. And I am going to go with speckle at the tip, close together, and then I'm going to kind of move out. Okay, I'm not going to speckle anything else on that particular flower. And this is called Made in Pink, and I'm going to color this little circle with this color here. And we have another circle down here like that. And we've got yellow again for this section here, which is kind of like a center area. Now, the rest of the spaces that are left, I'm going to treat them like they're the sky. And I'm going to play around with a little bit of blue. Now, this color here is called Pleasant Blue. So I'm going to start out with this one first. And I'm not going to speckle this, the sky. This big area here is the sky. And what I'm doing is I'm using the same color blue for all of these areas, but I am alternating my pressure so it looks like a different color. Does that make sense? Does anybody else do that when they're coloring? I think that's an easy way to color in a monochromatic style, color something that is maybe you only have one pencil with you, or you don't have you don't have a lot of colored pencils. And oh, this right here, and that completes my coloring page. This is my speckled technique. What do you think? I think it's fun. I think it's cool. Again, more decorative than pointillism would be, because we're not creating colors with the speckle. We're just kind of enhancing the page and giving it a little pizzazz. And again, I used Black Widow Dragon, hashtag Black Widow Dragon pencils. These are wax colored pencils, if you did not know that. And this is a set of 36. Nice set of colored pencils. So, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been a lot of fun. Hope you have a great day.